My wife deleted my number as part of a challenge, so I moved every single thing out of the house, including myself.
For 7 long years, people told me my marriage looked perfect, and from the outside, it was. We had the beautiful house in a quiet neighborhood. We posted smiling photos on social media, filled with inside jokes and sunset emojis. But behind those carefully curated images was a truth I couldn't even admit to myself. My wife, Sarah, didn't want a partner. She wanted a project. Someone she could sculpt, someone she could test, and ultimately, someone she could control. The night everything shifted began so quietly. It was just a small, ordinary rejection. I reached for her as she climbed into bed, hoping for some connection, a bit of conversation. Anything human. She moved away as if my touch irritated her. "Not tonight," she said, her back already turned to me. "I'm tired." I just stared at the ceiling, telling myself all couples go through phases. But somewhere deep inside, a small voice knew something had gone very wrong, long before that moment. The next morning, she was at the kitchen table in her robe, scrolling on her phone with the intensity of someone monitoring the stock market. Her coffee was cold, untouched. She looked anxious. "I need something from you," she said finally, without looking up. My stomach instantly knotted. She never started a conversation with those words unless something was coming, something that was designed to drain me. "What is it?" I asked. "I think we need space," she said, her eyes still glued to her phone. "Not a separation, nothing dramatic. Just distance." The kind of distance she meant wasn't physical, it was emotional. It was performative, a test. I could hear it in her tone. And sure enough, that night I overheard her talking to her friends on speakerphone. "Don't worry," one of them said. "Just do the challenge. Delete his number. Ignore him for a week. See if he even notices. If he doesn't, he's not worth keeping." "That's brutal," Sarah said, but I could hear the smile in her voice. "That's empowerment," another friend replied. "Men need consequences." My chest tightened. This wasn't just insecurity. This wasn't her feeling undervalued. This was manipulation, strategic, calculated, and rehearsed. She wanted me to panic, to question myself, to chase her, to audition for the role of husband all over again. But I'd felt her slipping away for months. Her affection was rationed, her disappointment was always growing, and her friends were constantly in her ear, whispering strategies like they were generals planning a war. That night, while she slept, I stood in the hallway staring at our framed wedding photo. 2 people smiling, looking like the future was a sure thing. I didn't feel anger, just a profound sadness. Because I finally understood. She didn't see me as her partner. She saw me as a variable in her experiment. So, the next morning, while she was giggling and sending screenshots of my deleted number to her group chat, I made 3 calls. The first was to my attorney. The second was to a moving company. The third was to a storage facility. Just calm, clinical, decisive steps. Day 1, she stayed silent. Day 2, still nothing. Day 3, she was all in on her little challenge, celebrating in her group chat that she was winning. But here is the thing about winning a game. It only works when the other person is actually playing. On the 3rd afternoon, while she was at work, the moving trucks arrived at our house. My house, actually, which I had purchased years before we ever married. Furniture, clothes, electronics, everything was labeled, packed, and gone in under 4 hours. I orchestrated the entire thing from my office chair, sipping coffee while I coordinated with the movers over the phone. Just before 3 o'clock, my phone lit up with an unknown number. "Hello?" I answered. There was shaky breathing on the other end. "It's me," Sarah whispered. "There are trucks at the house, big ones. They're loading everything." "Why didn't you tell me we were moving? Why haven't you answered your phone?" Her panic was almost theatrical. I couldn't help but smile a little. "I think you have the wrong number," I said calmly. There was a moment of silence. "You're not funny," she snapped. "Just tell them to stop." "You might want to check whose house you're in," I replied. Then I hung up. The phone immediately rang again. I ignored it. By the time I left work, she had called me 8 times from 3 different phones. The next morning, the frantic voicemails started. "The movers won't talk to me. They said to call the property owner. What is going on? Please answer, please. The neighbors are watching." Just tell me what I did wrong, what she did wrong. Everything, but mostly she thought I would break under silence. Instead, I woke up. Later that afternoon, I met her at a coffee shop on neutral territory. She looked wrecked. Red eyes, wrinkled clothes. This was not the curated version of herself she always presented to the world. I didn't mean for this to happen, she whispered. It was just a challenge. I swear, you deleted my number, I said, my voice flat. For a game? I was insecure, she said, wiping her eyes. My friend said it would show me if you cared. No, I said. It showed me that you didn't, she buried her face in her hands. I didn't think you'd actually leave. I thought you'd chase me. That's the problem, I replied. You think love is proven through fear, through panic. Through desperation, I laid our prenup on the table between us signed before our quick Vegas courthouse wedding. She barely remembered it. No alimony, I reminded her. No shared property. A clean break. I don't want a break, she sobbed. I want you. You wanted a reaction, I corrected her. And now you have one? She asked if we could fix it. Fixing implies it was an accident, I said. This wasn't an accident. Tears were streaming down her face now. But you still love me, I just shook my head. Love is a choice you make every day, not a test you run to see if someone panics. You stopped choosing me a long time ago. I stood up, leaving money for our coffees on the table. You have 27 days left in the house. Your belongings are in storage. After that, you're on your own. Where will you go? She whispered, looking up at me. Somewhere peaceful, I said. Somewhere without tests, and I walked out of that cafe without ever looking back. 3 months later, I was sitting on the balcony of my new apartment. It's smaller, simpler, and much quieter. My life feels lighter. That constant tightness in my chest is gone. My mind is no longer tangled up in someone else's games. I heard through mutual friends that her little group chat imploded. 3 of those relationships ended. 2 of the other men filed for divorce. The rest demanded counseling. It seems everyone was suddenly facing the consequences of the challenges they once thought were so empowering. As for Sarah, she's living with one of those friends, alternating between blaming me and slowly accepting reality. Sometimes people ask if I regret it. Ending a 7-year marriage over a deleted number, but it was never about the number. It was about a wife who chose to test loyalty instead of building trust. A marriage that was measured in power plays instead of partnership. A love that demanded proof instead of offering comfort. Wrong number, wrong house, wrong wife. But it was the right decision, every single time. Thanks for listening. If you have a story about a relationship test gone wrong, share it in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories.